Hey everybody, this is Cynthia with Bliss in the Garden. Not long ago, I created a video about the differences between hydrangeas, the paniculatas and the macrophyllus, and I asked you guys if you wanted me to teach you how to propagate hydrangeas, and you said yes. So I'm going to show you today how you can easily propagate any leggy plant, any plant that has limbs that can bend. That would be like a rose, an azalea, a hydrangea. All of them would work, and you could probably test all kinds of other plants and let me know if it actually works for you. I'd love to know. So this is a hydrangea, and you have to understand that this is just growing this season. So it actually is baby from the start. But I wanted to show you that last season, I actually took a limb. So I had taken one of these that had grown. I created a trench on the ground and I laid it down. That's what I did with this because it naturally kind of bent down. And you'll notice that as the season goes, maybe when the flowers get a little heavy, some of the limbs will start kind of drooping down. Those are the perfect ones to do that too. So what I did, the idea is that you put them in here, you created a trench and you put it in so that this part right here, wherever the node is, it can create roots. And if you can see right there, there are roots. When you create your trench, you get a brick or something heavy, I don't know, a rock, a brick, something that just to hold it down so it doesn't like lift, because if it lifts, it won't create roots. It'll just, you know, be in the air. It needs to really consistently touch the soil so that it starts growing roots. So like for example, you know, you would dig your trench, right? And then you would do that. And then you would put the dirt, I don't know if you can see, but that's kind of how I do it. So right here, do you see, but there's a little node. And so in any of these areas, it'll grow roots. It could be over here. It takes about 6 weeks. I wait about 8 weeks, and if I can wait longer, I wait longer. So this has definitely been, oh, I did that in the fall. It is now the spring. So it has definitely got good roots. I think that's the greatest way to go. Like if you can do it in the spring and then transplant it later in the summer, or if you can do it in the fall and then transplant it in the spring, I think that that is really a better way to do it. But if you're kind of impatient and you want to grow more plants quicker, 6 to 8 weeks is something that you could probably do and it'll work just fine. Now we're going to cut it and we're going to transplant it somewhere else in the garden. I can cut this from the mother. So this is the mother plant, this is the baby plant. We're going to cut it and then it's going to become its own plant. I'm going to use my handy tool. I love this knife. It is awesome. I talked about this in another video where I use this for practically everything because it has like where you can measure, where you can scoop, where you can cut, where you can do all kinds of things. This thing is super handy. I'll put a link to the description if you want it, but I'll show you how I'm going to do it with this because I'm going to use the knife part right here. We're going to cut it right here. Don't be scared. It'll be okay. All right, and then I'm going to try to also get as many as, you know, the roots, as many as I can. And I can tell, ooh, it's formed good root system already. And here it is. Here it is. So I've gotten this with the roots, and so even though it's severed, this has enough roots to get it going. So now we just put this back, right? There's the mama. I'm getting ready to transplant the baby, but I want to remind you that anytime you transplant something, you want to add like a plant starter. I happen to have a spoma. I'm not loyal to any brand, at least right now. Nobody sponsored me. Either granular or liquid plant starter will work. You dig your hole, you put your little plant starter, and then you add your plant and some good dirt. All right, let's do it. Here's the spot I've decided to put it in. I'm going to dig my hole. So now I'm going to bring the plant and I'm going to set it in here. But before I do that, remember that you need to put your plant starter, whether it's granular or liquid, and just follow the instructions. And so you add that in there. So that's enough. It's just put it in there and then you put your plant. Now I probably should go get some water and then we'll add good soil on top and that's it. But see right here, that's the roots right here. So we've got roots on this side and this side. This is going to be good. So I'm actually going to put a little bit of garden soil. Yeah, that's probably good. And so I'm going to add some water to kind of get it started. So between the root starter and this water, it's going to have a head start. And then you're going to want to let this go down. And once the water gets down, finish filling it in and then you'll be set. You need to water your baby for the beginning every other day or just whenever it needs it. Don't water it too much, but make sure that it is moist until it takes, because the roots are kind of just been severed right now. So we're going to watch it grow. I've done this before, so I know that it works and I know that you can do it at home. And it's fun to watch your garden grow. I'm still dirty. It's fun to watch your garden grow from your own plants. Sometimes plants that I buy are $20, $25. Sometimes I've paid $30. You do that several times, you're going to save a lot of money. I always try to learn how to propagate, and I'll hopefully create more videos on how to do that in the future so that you can see that you can grow a beautiful garden without spending an arm and a leg. All right, so this is the mama where we took out the plant right over there. I've put the baby right over here. Okay, and I have another baby that I created last year that's coming out right here. So these are all macrophylla. So now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the rose. Same thing. If I really wanted to get a baby, I would find the lowest one that I could lay down and start growing this way so that it would grow roots. So you just find the one that you can easily lay down and work that way. Remember that you can create bliss in your garden.